Welcome to Subscription Prescription, the podcast where you get the information you need to scale your subscription program. Welcome to another dose of Subscription Prescription. I'm your host, Matthew Holman, and I'm excited today to be joined by my good friend, John Roman. He is the CEO and founder of Battlebox. John, thanks for coming on, man.
Dude, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. You got a lot going on. You got your conference I don't know when this will air, but it's almost game time.
Yeah. Conference is in 2 weeks. I wanted to say too, when we were starting, I feel like the backdrop of your office hasn't changed in 6 years. So I don't know if those boxes
So it
just
has.
keep going
And
without
so
you, or...
I've gone through past things, and it's a validation that I don't want to share with my wife. It's just slowly been growing. Not in a good way. Now I have too much stuff in there, and I had to move some stuff. Got moved in here that is not fully mine because it can't be in the living quarters, so it goes to the dungeon.
Yeah.
Which is where I live. Anyway, cool.
Well, if I could flip my camera around, you'd see all these snacks and sodas and stuff I have, because we do host our in-person events here. So I'm
Sure.
lucky to just have this nice clean wall, and you can't see all the crap that I have on my floor. But anyway,
I have
so
that.
for those of you, what's that? Yeah.
I pointed to the YouTube thing. I have that. That's kind of cool. Anyway, all right. Sorry. Go on.
I need to get one of those. Yeah. You flex it. It's all right. Okay, so for those of you that are familiar with the show, I reference Battlebox quite a bit. I think there are a number of things that I think that you guys do really, really well, John. And you were one of our first guests. I think you actually might have been my first guest when we launched the podcast years ago. So it's really fitting that you're coming back on and we're talking about a lot of these things. But for those of you that are not aware, would you please share a little bit about Battlebox, and then I'll dive into some of the things that I love about it.
Sure. So Battlebox is an outdoor and adventure brand, an extreme focus on content first, which serves as our true top of funnel. Don't get me wrong, we still spend way more than I'd like on the usual suspects like Meta. Advertising is critical, but at the same level, it's more middle funnel. Started in 2015. When we started in 2015, we called ourselves a subscription box because that's what we were. Kind of as we matured and become this 12-year-old company, we feel we've become a lot more than just that. But don't get me wrong, the membership, which includes the physical box that goes out every month, is still our flagship product. It's still 65-70% of all revenue. So it's still very, very important, very key. As you know, just as well, if not better than me, subscription and forecastable revenue is so paramount and so important, and
Right.
really is an unlock when a brand can figure that out. So yeah, lots of content. Netflix TV show in 2020, the Netflix original. Sold the company in 2021, bought it back in 2023, and here we are on I think this is like Battlebox 3.0. So this is our third birth from fire.
I love that. Yeah. And I want to dive into content, but the place I want to start is one of the things I think, because, when I post online about billing reminders, I know that always gets you thinking just a teensy bit about it, but I actually like how you guys do it. The fact that you don't do it, but what you do instead, I think is absolutely genius. Could you explain to everybody how you guys communicate what's coming to people? Because I think it's brilliant.
Sure. So unpopular opinion, which is a hill I'll die on, but not because it's a hill I should die on. It's a hill because I'm scared of the alternative, right? We don't send out the 3-day heads up. We're gonna bill you. Now, what we do is we do send a lot of communication via email and SMS, talking about the next mission, building up for it. So in theory, if they're reading their texts and emails, they know it's coming. Same with the onboarding series of when the first time you sign up. Most of those emails, at least at the beginning, are very, very educational. It used to be one big long email. We've tested and we send multiple now, hitting on important points of each. One of the dedicated emails is explaining how the subscription membership works, when we bill, when it ships, etc. So
Right.
at the end of the day, you would hope that they are reading everything. Now, fast forward on the 15th, that is the renewal day. We're not animals. We're not like, the horror stories you hear of. Oh, they renewed me. They got me. We are gonna refund. We are gonna
Right.
explain. We're gonna take the moment and try to at least turn it around and not make it a bad experience. So we have a decent bit
Mhm.
of refunds those couple of days post. But we feel that because we're so proactive with the communication along the way and our quick approach, um, reactive but still approach towards people that are like, "Ah, I didn't want a bill. I can't read. I didn't follow instructions." We're still giving the refund for the most part. So yeah, slightly different approach. I'm glad you can appreciate it. I don't know if it is best practice. I would argue that the 3-day notice probably is the best practice. But we've made the
Yeah,
bed,
but
we're sleeping in
then
it, and
again,
we're just trying to make it as comfortable as possible.
yeah. Like we live in a world where like these hard, fast rules for best practices are not universal. Like some
Sure.
brands, the 3-day billing reminders, like it is a churn no matter what they do. And it doesn't matter. 5 days would be better, or an SMS communication would be better. But the thing that you guys do that not only is like you're doing all this proactive stuff, it's the when you're teasing what's on the way, right? Like
Yeah.
that to me, I think is the master class in engagement because the difference is people a lot of brands that don't send billing reminders are ignoring, they go quiet, nothing's happening. You
Yeah,
guys
they're
are
just
on
hoping
point.
you
You
don't
are
say anything. They
looking
don't
for
they don't
yeah,
wanna send
you're
an
looking
email.
for engagement.
Yeah,
Right.
that's actually a great point. They don't wanna send an email because they're afraid, "Oh, that's gonna remind them that we're gonna charge them for $200 next week."
Yeah.
So fair that is a fair point.
With your guys' engagement strategy though, like you guys are teasing the content in the box. That's kind of the thing that I want to get into that I think a lot of people could learn from. It's like how does that work? What does that mechanism work? Because I think the dynamics of a subscription box and what's inside of it, or maybe overgeneralizing a surprise and delight experience, like this is a really great way to get people excited.
Yeah, so we're building hype. So just kind of digging in a little bit further on our model. So it's a drop model, right? So everybody, all members, with the exception of first time members, because we have a different flow for them. But once you're an established member, every month we renew you. We ship the box between the 4th and the 9th of the following month. But it's a very strategic send where we're going west to east, rural to city, rural to metro, so that everybody gets their box around the same time. And then we drop a video around day one of delivery. Typically, it does delivery. Unfortunately, it does span a couple of days sometimes. But we drop that video and we're explaining, what's in the box, educating on each of the items. So bringing it back to your original question, it's an exciting thing. These drops are exciting. We're working hard. We have a procurement team. We have a testing team. Like it's not we don't put things in the box lightly. Like it's a pain in the butt
Right.
to our team for something to make it through this entire process of approval to be in a box. It's a lot of work and it's exciting what the finished product is. So we do talk about it. We proactively, as we're building into the next mission, we're talking about potentially the theme, potentially an item. It's unfortunately or fortunately because it doesn't scale. There's no automation in there, right? This isn't a automatically show item number 3 and 4. Um, we're telling a story, and that story doesn't automate. It doesn't scale, right? We're having to think, okay, let's talk about the box in this manner. What is gonna connect truly to our members to paint the picture of what's coming, and that's not something AI can do.
Yeah.
So
And the thing that I've always loved about it is that it's it does hype people up. I love the when we first chatted about it, you were saying like everybody gets the same video, whether you have the premium box or you have one of the boxes that has lesser items in it. So you get to see what you miss, right? So if you're
yeah.
not on the highest premium tier, you see what the premium tier is getting. But then you also make sure you address like any questions somebody might have about why this is cool or unique or interesting, because then it enhances the actual unboxing experience. It's like if I've been getting different stuff and I don't know what something is, I might start questioning the value, but I'm getting the value reinforced as part of that. So I think just from a communicate again, it's a very specific to you. So it's like I get
Sure.
that protein powder companies aren't going to do like unboxing videos. But the idea is like getting into this engagement and explanation and stuff as part of the delivery, I think is just a brilliant content engagement strategy.
No, thank you. And to your point that, engagement does start building towards our goal of community, right? And it being more than just, again, no, there's days I wake up and I wish we had a simpler product like a protein powder that just bills and auto ships, and how have to
Yeah.
decide a different flavor every month or 8 to 10 different flavors every month is definitely unique to us that we have all these moving pieces. But yeah, it's the engagement also serves the purpose of community and understanding that it's much more than the physical product that you're a member to.
Mhm. So how does the greater content strategy kind of like play into everything? Is it do you see like, hey, like the battle games, like the different things you do, the Netflix series, all that stuff, is that top of funnel? Is that do you find that's also engaging for people that are fans and following the product? Like how does that internally in Battlebox HQ, how are you guys thinking about these? Because again, I know you just are constantly doing content and looking for more ways to create content.
Yeah, so it's both. And it's anybody who's tried to do content that's listening to this, watching this, that content's difficult, right? It's not
Mhm.
like an ad where there's tracking and you can follow them a little bit better. It's really difficult to see the start of some of a relationship when it's living on another platform and not engaging with our actual asset of our website. It's difficult. You can do
Mm.
some, hey, this person target people that like people or follow this. But it's a little difficult to really track the beginning of the relationship. I think where we see it show up in the first form of validation, and this is for new customers, the first part of your question of top of funnel is top of funnel, and we see it with the post-purchase survey where we're asking them, how long did you know about BattleBox before purchasing? And we see, to the untrained eye, it looks like a problem. 40% are saying greater than 6 months. You're like, man, that's not good.
Yeah.
And that's not good if you're not doing the content strategy. If you're just serving ads and that's everyone's top of funnel and it's taking them 6+ months to buy, that's a problem.
That's
But it's not a problem for us because that's our model. We're educating, we're engaging, we're having them be a part of this content and community. And that takes a while to truly gain someone's trust and them know and validate that they're making the right decision. And ironically, the 6 months plus group is a higher AOV, it's a higher
interesting.
LTV. It is our best possible customer cohort because they came in
Interesting.
through content, because they didn't get hard sold right away. Don't get me wrong, we
And
we
you have all
have
that content
promotional.
after that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, and again, we are still following a lot of that. And I after what you said earlier, I hate saying best practices, but we are putting them in email flows and converting them and then flipping on an ad from mid funnel to, even though Meta might think it's new top of funnel, it's how we're targeting. It truly is a mid funnel, and we're getting them over the edge with a strong intro offer.
Sure.
So all that matters. We're still doing all of that. We're just doing it a little bit later. To the second part of your question on existing customers, it was a little bit of an unknown for a while. We were kind of going on the assumption that it was important, and that's why we were doing it. But we finally just did a survey. So we surveyed. We've obviously it was a big lift in the beginning. We surveyed all existing customers. It was a pretty intense survey. It was like 24 questions. So we had to have some contests and giveaways to really get the use out of that because it was a big ask. It was a lot of questions, but we wanted to better understand our people. So we got, not as much big of a take rate as I would like, but I think we probably got about 24% of our actives to take a 24 question survey, which I think is okay. Our post-purchase survey, we're typically getting 65, 70% take. And then after that initial lift, we then set it up through automation. So when customers hit a certain threshold in their life cycle defined by renewals or spend, they get kicked out
Yeah.
of survey, and they get kicked it in what we've tested and believe, at least for our brand, is the right time to send it to them to best chance of them explaining, filling out the survey. So it's, the data's changing ever so slightly as we get more data because we targeted everybody at first, and now we're massaging it with only our top customers.
Right.
And a couple of the questions are content focused. We find that 75% of our ideal customers are actually on YouTube digesting our content, watching our content. But that's their go-to. Which is interesting. It's not Meta where Facebook, where the Facebook group is, that's members only, which is surprising. They're already there. They're going to another platform to watch our content. And TikTok is not very high. We have lots of followers on TikTok, but the ideal guys are not going back to TikTok to ingest.
I mean, it does make a little bit of sense. Like, TikTok's like, I might be watching that on the toilet kind of thing. I'm watching a minute or two
Yeah,
here and there. I'm not going to watch 10, 20, 30 minutes of content as
yeah,
opposed to YouTube. I'm going to be digesting a lot of that. So that does make a lot of sense. And I like hearing that you're surveying your more valuable customers because I feel like everybody's always so concerned with why people are leaving instead of like why people are staying, right? Like
yeah,
what makes the program valuable to them gives you insights in who you should be going after and how you should build the program that attracts the valuable people as opposed to trying to build a program that keeps people that aren't that valuable from leaving.
yeah. And yeah, and it's twofold. It's one, let's understand exactly like you said, how do we find more of these people? What are we doing right? They're probably going to give us some talking points to then take and
Mhm.
explain via the Battlebox gospel to the masses. But it's also get the feedback and how do we make it even friggin' better for them? Like
Yeah.
where are we
Yeah.
not doing where we think we're doing the best, but like tell us, like, how can we make it better? Which
Yep.
checks, the obvious box of, okay, we can improve our offering by doing this. But the unsaid thing is just having that conversation, asking them, even if it's a survey. Sometimes we do phone calls, but like even if it's just a survey, like no one's doing that, and you care, and it
Yep.
like put yourself in their shoes. Like a couple, there's been a few times I've gotten like I can tell it's not the regular survey, not the 5 minutes after you had the call with Delta. How do we do? It's not that. It's like you can tell it's a personalized written email. Like it's genuinely caring. And I think that unsaid piece, that's a variable of a lot of value. If you're able to
Yeah.
actually share and give feedback and you're confident that it's genuinely asked for and is genuinely gonna be used, like, your affinity towards that brand grows, your loyalty grows even more because it's so unusual in today's
Yep.
day and age.
I mean, it really is. You think about post-purchase, we're all used to seeing that. I mean, I'm getting
Mhm.
annoyed that my local like movie theater company is like trying to get me to like pick these upsells for non-movie related services because after sell is on the movie app, right? Like
Dude, I
you
hate
have your
I hate that
cancellation
experience.
survey where people yeah. Yeah. So and then you have cancellation experience where people are like they're canceled and they're either even if they're just they like you and it's not the right time, they're gonna go through, but everybody else is annoyed at you. Whereas
Yeah,
I've tried to convince other brands of this. I'm like, Do you mean to tell me that you don't think somebody's bought from you 3, 4 times and you're a founder-led brand or you have great branding that you don't think somebody's gonna actually care, that you're trying to care about what they care about?" Like,
right.
it's kinda silly. So I like that because, I think that's a great opportunity, and figuring out the right time, I think, is the hard part, and figuring out the right ways to engage is the
Yeah.
hard part because surveys and stuff can get lost in the shuffle. But I think that's a great point.
100%. Cool.
Okay, Whatnot. You have been a huge proponent of this. I've seen you do this live at like Sub Summit, and I think you guys do this at CR as well. But can you break down for me what made you guys start into Whatnot? Well, I guess what is Whatnot for everybody who doesn't know.
Sure.
Why'd you guys go in as a subscription brand? You know, one could argue that that's not really a subscription supported thing. But so I'd love to under the rationale and where you see the opportunity for your business in that, because I know live selling is a big piece of where you guys think the future is.
Yeah, so Whatnot, and I think, nice timing on this because I believe Friday they announced their Series G. They raised, another 100 and something million at a $20 billion valuation.
Jeez.
Going back a little bit, in October of last year, they raised at I believe, $11 billion valuation, and then in February of last year, they raised at, I believe, a $5.5 billion valuation. So they've raised 3 times in 18 months, basically napkin math doubling their valuation, and not like a small one, right? They're
Big, big double.
yeah, like crazy, like unicorn. These are unicorn numbers. And so that's who Whatnot. It's a live shopping platform. Think think QVC for the current generation, right? QVC for the most part, and probably part of their fall was that, Matt, our generation didn't really buy into it like the previous generation that was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, pick up the
It
phone,
was so
Nancy, you
silly.
got a
It was
call."
yeah. Yep. Super silly to me. I never understood it.
Yeah. And so it skipped the live shopping, because that is the OG of live shopping. It skipped a generation or two. And what Whatnot has done is they've married that with the brain rot, scrolling, finding things you want, short attention span of TikTok, if you will, right? And now YouTube Shorts and now Instagram Reels. They've married the two, which TikTok is doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but they're not. And that's and to answer your question, the why, it's because of that. So we've heard, everybody who's been in e-com has heard live shopping is coming for like 10 years now. So much
Yeah.
so to the point of like, cool, yeah, yeah, it is. You stop believing it, right? China's doing this. Oh, we're not China. It's a completely different society. You have different, even buying psychology among the two countries. We are not the same.
Right.
But this is the first time, you know, 2 years ago, that it felt a little bit different. So back in the beginning of last year, February, March, we were like, okay, this might feel different this time. Where do we go? What do we do? We know that eBay or Amazon has tried to launch it a couple times and failed. We know YouTube tried to launch it a couple times and failed. We have 1 million followers on TikTok. Like, we should just do it there. We're having some success with TikTok Shop, and we should do it there. And then out of nowhere, we received an email from Whatnot, BDR, sales professional, just reaching out. Hey, I'm not even starting, like we've established this outdoor category, right? And we think you guys would be great for it. Chatted with them. They gave us an offer that was pretty aggressive to go with them and try their platform out. And
That's fun.
so we did. Now back to the, yeah, TikTok's doing it's not the same. It's not. So with TikTok, you're ingesting content, right? And the algorithm, arguably, I will say, probably the best algorithm any of us have seen
Yeah.
from a social media perspective. And some of the others have caught up now
Right.
to a certain extent, and maybe ownership change slowed them down. But that algorithm was phenomenal, right? It knew exactly when to
Mhm.
pivot and show you this and show you that, and just really get the brain rot, fully rotting the brain. And in the mix, the algorithm's like, oh, yeah, buy this. Hey, buy this really quick. And That's what it is. The problem is you came on there to to rot your brain. You didn't come on there to give money as
Yeah,
well.
you didn't come right. And it's
And
like you'd be,
so
like, scrolling through Amazon, right? Like, I'm not gonna go scroll through Amazon to try to entertain
right.
myself and go
Yeah,
looking
you're
for stuff.
scrolling through Amazon to buy something, and
Right.
TikTok, you're not. Now, the algorithm's so good, they get people to buy still, right? But what they're buying is very inexpensive, typically, not always, there's exceptions, but you're buying a low cost, low priced item that's significantly discounted and free shipping and screaming deal, and you don't care about who's selling it, what the brand is, who they stand for, what you're looking at the physical item only. You buy something on TikTok Shop, I can ask you 5 minutes later, what brand did you buy it from? Who'd you buy it from? They might not be able to tell you, but they can tell you what the item is.
Yeah.
And we saw that in the numbers. We saw on TikTok Shop, and don't get me wrong, we still are on TikTok Shop. I think TikTok Shop serves a great purpose. There is a halo effect on Amazon, not so much on the website, even though people might tell you that. There's a halo effect, right? You have the older generation that see it and then go to Amazon, and I'm part of that. Like, I'll see something on TikTok. I've never bought anything on TikTok Shop. I'll see something, and then I'll try to find it on Amazon because I know Amazon has my back. It's gonna get to me in 2
Yeah.
days. If I have a problem with it, I don't like the way the bagging it came in, they're gonna accept a return. So that exists.
Right.
But we were seeing, call it $20 AOV and 19, 20, depending on the month. And we weren't seeing much halo effect of actual coming, more so like, yeah, Amazon, sure, we'll get some additional sales if a video pops, but we weren't seeing membership, and we weren't seeing people coming into our ecosystem and saying, hey, I want to be a part of this.
You're
We
doing
could,
one-off items on the TikTok shop, not
which you
you're
have to
not
do one
selling
off.
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
And we do one-off items on all marketplaces. We used to have this subscription box on Amazon. They end of life it end of 2024. They just killed the program. We had
Right.
active members. They said, hey, you can reach out to them and get them back on your site. We just don't want anything to do with it. So it's always been the one-time marketplace, but it just, there was a missing piece. And I think it's the ingestion. To your point, you don't go on Amazon and ingest content, and you go to buy. Flip it. Whatnot's doing the same thing with video and flipping, but just like Amazon, you go there to buy. And that's the
Mhm.
fundamental difference. And then they've peppered on this whole community vibe, which is, I think, part of the first part is obviously a great, not a novel idea. Amazon will eventually figure it out. eBay will eventually figure it out. Google will eventually figure it out. The three of them are gonna figure out live shopping. It's just a matter of when. Now, the community piece, I think, is kind of their moat, and they built all these cool, just organic parts of it. So when you end a show on Whatnot, I have 100 people on the show. I could end the show, but you never end the show. You raid someone else's show. You pick a show, you click raid, you drop yourself and your 100 people into someone else's show. And then
That's
everybody's like,
smart.
we're raiding, and you want to be supportive of the raid. So then you buy something of theirs.
Right. Oh, that is so
And
cool.
I'm not, and Battlebox, John's show, Raid's match show, right? You're not like, I'm not making like a compensation or referral from it at all. That's not what it's about.
Right.
But you know what, Matt, when you end your next show next week and Battlebox is on, you're rating us, because that's what you do. You rate
Yeah.
each other. And there's a
Yeah.
bunch of little
You tell
things
your
like that.
community you're gonna go do it. Yeah, these guys came on
Correct.
last week, we're gonna go get them this week, and
100%.
wow, that's
Let's
cool.
show them love too. And there's like little
Yeah.
things like that. There's community boost, which you basically, you try to fill a meter up, and when the meter gets filled, all it's doing is running an ad for that channel for the next 15 minutes. And it's not ever funded by the brand. It's 100%, the entire feature is funded by your audience. Your audience is paying money to run an
Interesting.
ad for you to get more people. Like, they've just done a phenomenal job of the community piece, which I think is the key. So that was a long-winded answer on the why.
No, I love that. And so we've had this phenomenon in Utah because like Facebook Live has been around for a while, and there's a company
Mhm,
called Comment Sold that allows you to like
mhm.
comment in the Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And so I met a few founders out here that were doing like blankets and like minky blankets and other things. And which to me was kind of insane because I was like, how many minky blankets can somebody buy? Well, now that I'm married with kids and stuff, like I find out, we can have 30 in the house.
The
Uh,
answer is a lot.
yeah, yeah, I'm slightly exaggerating. It's like 10 or 12, maybe more. But people would just they would love the person selling. Like they were so dynamic and so interesting. People would just love watching it. And then if there was a new design or pattern or anything, there was this feeling of exclusivity, like there's only 10 of these, or we only made 20 of these, or whatever it is. And people would buy them and they'd have like 7, 8, 9, 10 of these blankets. So I certainly can understand, but that's the hardest part to crack
Right.
is the organic virality, what's gonna make somebody addicted to the platform so that the way you think about TikTok for content, how and that's how we it's interesting. I wanna go check out Whatnot now because I have a buddy who's been selling some baseball or basketball cards on there.
Yeah.
He was telling me about it, and I tagged him on one of your posts because I was like, "This is you can go check
Oh, I
this
saw the
out."
tag. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it looks
Yeah, it's
really, really
interesting.
fun.
It's the community piece. So then, okay, as a consumer, Matt is a consumer, John is a consumer. If I just want to go in and I just want to buy something and be done with it as fast as possible, I'm going to go on Amazon. I'm going to find it, boom, boom, 2 days, send, purchase. I'm in and out, hopefully in less than a minute or two, and I'm done. But if I'm looking for something a little bit more, right? I'm searching for some entertainment when I'm buying, or like-minded people, or in the basketball card example, other basketball card people. You go to Whatnot
Right,
and you get that, and that just aligns so much with us, with our content and community, that they've fostered community. So what we're seeing is just this organic. They come to our show for the Whatnot community. They like what we do. Guess what? We're big on community, and they just naturally then go to our website and get the membership. It was wild. We were doing this whole Battle Games golden ticket thing, and I had, when we would select winners for it, I had to just run some automation and make sure they were an active member, find their profile. These are all these little rules that we have for legal reasons. And on the thing, it was like uh, two profiles found, and it was for three of the people. They had two profiles. They had, because it's a marketplace, because you're not getting the email address, because technically marketplaces view customers as their own and not yours,
yeah,
which is just, it is
right,
what it is. It's marketplaces. So it doesn't, when it creates a profile in Shopify, it's not giving us the email. No email, it can't marry the two profiles. So we found multiple, and it was interesting just because we were like, holy cow, and we dug in further, and there's so many people that come in that way. It's just, it's
mm,
super exciting. So, oh, by the way, AOV is $80 instead of 20. So we're 4xing
wow,
AOV, and then the conversion rate of getting them to the site, not necessarily to buy, but to get them to the site from TikTok versus Battlebox, and we're tracking that in QR codes, entering giveaways, the ways you might get someone to come
right,
from a marketplace. They It's performing, probably, last time I looked, it was like 30 times more efficient, 30 times versus TikTok Shop. Again, because of the reason you said, right? If you're buying, you're not scrolling through Amazon to check content. You're scrolling through Amazon to purchase something, and they've somehow kept that mindset, but then gave the entertainment piece that TikTok possesses. So it's just wild. It's this highly profitable channel. It's now our second biggest channel. We launched in April of last year. It's our second
oh, wow,
biggest channel. It's bigger than our Amazon now. Obviously, number one's D2C website. That is the lion's share of the business. That's not changing. But it's become this meaningful channel, second largest. If we take, every month seems to be our best month ever. July was our best month ever. We cracked over 400K in July. It was our first over 400K month. And so, using quick math, I mean, it's a $5 million channel for us, with
yeah,
clear path to double that, which is
yep,
just wild that it can also serve as top of funnel for us for our important product, which is the membership. Um,
Membership. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's just
right.
insane.
See, like what I was asking when I was asking you before we were starting, like, and I feel like you just tied it all together. It's like whatnot, the live selling isn't about just the one-off products, the knife or the camping piece of camping gear. It's you're on a platform where there's natural community, virality, like an organic component built into it. The intent of why people are there lines up with why you're there and why they might want to keep connecting with you, discovering more content, visiting your website, getting into some of these giveaways. So it makes a real natural tie-in. And then talking about the content, like again, it's interesting. I didn't ask about the billing reminder and talk about engagement, thinking about this part of the conversation, but
Sure.
that is kind of like a really great way to bring it all together. Is you're talking about you guys are really great at engaging with existing customers and members and potential customers and members and whatnot
Yeah.
as a way for you to do that that actually generates revenue on the channel as well as in your main business.
Yeah, it's wild to be such a large profitable sales channel that is truly serving as top of funnel
Yeah,
for the
that
membership. It's just crazy.
cool. Okay, so as we wrap up, one last question just for you. I know you've been in the space for a really long time. You're incredibly helpful. I, giving advice and mentorship and all kinds of things. Is there anything you've seen in the last 6 to 12 months in the subscription space that you think people should be paying attention to more, or a piece of advice to not do? Like anything, like just that a gem or something like that that people that are building subscription businesses should pay attention to.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one thing right now, I said it earlier. Not I was gonna say I accidentally said it earlier, but I mean it's the truth. But you called it out right away, and was talking about talking to the customers, your high value customers versus trying to figure it out on the customers that left. I think just taking a step back and looking at all the good things, just like, a couple years ago, all of a sudden people stopped caring about acquisition. Like, people cared about acquisition only. Then a couple of years ago, they're like, oh, retention is important too.
Yeah.
But they only did that because acquisition has become that much more harder. Now they're
Right.
caring, right? Like, take it a step further proactively. Don't wait for the forced change. Like, everybody was forced to care about retention because acquisition was difficult. Like, take it a step further, and I guess you could argue it is all part of retention, right? Everything, everything can be a part of retention. All roads lead towards retaining your people after you get them, but take
Right.
that proactive approach and talk to your best customers, understand them. How do you improve the product? They're going to give you the gold. Find the little proactive morsels like that. What are you doing really well in the business that you can leverage to to rise all ships, which then in theory could help with acquisition, could help with other avenues of the business. I would think that that's be more proactive, less reactive, which is, I get it, so much easier to say
Yeah,
than
it's
do.
so it is so hard, but yeah,
But make
yeah.
time for it.
It
Make
really is.
make absolute time for
Yeah,
it.
I love that. So being proactive with building programs that fit for your best subscribers, learning who those people are, not being scared about the people that are leaving. And yeah, as you're talking, I'm not sure we would see the subscription space be as popular as it was if you didn't have every acquisition guy under the sun saying, if I know what my CAC to LTV ratio is, then I know that, I need that
Yeah.
LTV up because CAC has gone up. So, uh,
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. One last very quick question. Did the BDR from Whatnot, did that sales email make it into the good sales email post on LinkedIn or Twitter?
So he didn't send it to me. So he sent it to Cameron,
Oh,
Cameron's story. Cameron came in as a marketing coordinator, the Whatnot guy who now leads all of outdoor and has become a very large category on
oh
Whatnot.
wow.
So he's like he's gotten his well deserved promotions, but Cameron got pinged as the marketing coordinator, and now he leads social commerce for us because that's its own department. Because we
That's awesome.
really view that as this new future, and then we're fortunate that we're able to tie it in to the membership because that's not going anywhere. Subscription is not going anywhere. Sweet.
All right. Well, John, thank you so much for coming on the show. For everybody listening at home, I highly recommend you give John a follow on LinkedIn and on Twitter. I mentioned he's got a few other things. He runs Online Queso, which is an online blog. I've contributed to that a few times over the years. And he does a really fun series where he calls out really bad sales emails, and because we are all getting them all the time. But again, just as a great guy to connect with in the subscription community, John Roman, thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. That's it for this week's Toast. Stay tuned next week for another episode of Subscription Prescription. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe so that you can get notified when new episodes come out each week on Tuesdays.